Just so everyone knows, share the room out. Let everyone know we're live. Many of you know, or maybe you don't know, Alex will be joining us here in a little bit. And if you'd like to jump up here on stage, you have any questions, just do that by tapping on the mic. Make sure you're on a phone, not a desktop or an iPad. Scott, what's going on?
Hey, how are you guys? Glad to be here again.
Doing good, man. Doing good. Looks like we got a couple people up here on stage, but Jason, you didn't have any questions or anything? You just up here hanging out? All right, I guess he is. Zach, what's up? Other Zach.
Hey, Josh, how's it going?
What's going on?
I had a non-job question for you, but I am moving along in that process and it's going well. But I'm a little new to the swaps thing, and I understand that you have to like request to be put on a list. And you may know that like if you buy USDC in the Celsius app, like there can be a delivery fee. So I was just wondering, the basic question about the swaps is, are you able to transfer like US dollars from your bank and transfer and swap your dollars to USDC there, or?
So that won't be the swaps. That's going to be the fiat gateway,
Okay.
which will be targeting December 15th.
Okay.
And that will be a completely free service where you can ACH dollars directly into the app, and they'll be converted into stable coins.
Okay, understood. I'll be looking forward to that because I know you guys partner with Gem, and I see that the delivery fee can be high sometimes.
Yeah. It's going to be a brand new system that's being built in-house, and we'll have no fees.
Understood. That's all I had. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, thanks for coming up. Sorav, you're up next.
So I have a question. So actually I have two questions. So first question is, when we'll be able to get the swap? I already did the join list. I mean, sign up for the swap.
It's being rolled out to everybody as quickly as we can. So just hold tight. And this week there's going to be a large group that gets access, and we'll continue to do that until everybody gets availability.
And thank you. And second question is, so I was looking at the Anchor. They do have like so many staking program coming up. So does Celsius has any plan to add Anchor to its platform?
I don't have any updates on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for coming up, Sorav. Zach, since the beta rollout is, getting well underway now, has there been any updates on bugs or any user behavior that you're noticing?
It sounds like everything's going really well. Haven't had any serious issues or any reason to slow things down. So all positive, and that's why this week we're going to be adding many thousands of users, and then many more thousands the week after that, and going through the end of the year where I think almost everybody will have access.
Very nice. Thank you for answering that. I want to say, Tecmo, you're up next.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Two quick clarifications, because we were running the daily Twitter Spaces, and a couple of people had questions, and I wasn't sure I had the exact right answer. So, Zach, you said December 15th is the target goal for the fiat gateway. Is that right?
Correct.
And then so the question they asked was, is that on ramp only or is that off ramp? And I thought I heard somewhere that was there that it was going to be both and potentially ACH.
Yeah, that's ACH is the primary gateway, but it will be both on and off. So you can convert stablecoin. You can bring stablecoins onto the platform effectively, and then convert them to other cryptos, and then convert other cryptos to stablecoins and send them to a bank account.
Okay, so it's on and off and ACH to the bank account. Perfect. So that's what I told them. Ready. Stop. And then the other clarification is the swaps. Is it they're trying to roll it out every other Thursday or every Thursday?
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. That was all I had. I'm going to stop letting my son dominate this discussion.
All good. Thanks, Tecmo. Go ahead, Scott.
Now, I was trying to find a laugh emoji about his son taking over the conversation. That's funny. Good stuff.
Susie, I believe you're up next.
Hey, it's Judah.
Oh, sure.
Sorry, I don't have my own account. Zach knows I'm in deep in Celsius, and I'm not like trying to spread any FUD or anything like that. But somebody showed me today a stat, I guess, from Apple.
Taken care of, and there's just it's a fundamentally different business model than crypto.com or Nexo.
With LinkedIn, I
It's sailing in a new
feel seen
direction.
and heard, and I think that's
I just want to
how
add
we're going to
something,
change the world of
Zach,
work.
that a lot of people may not be aware.
What would you change about the world of work?
for my.
Hey, keep up the good work, guys, and I love our $4 sign that we put on the stadium. You know, I think that really outdid the competition, and I'm glad to be earning really high yield sustainably. So I really love the that was great. I loved watching that on the AMA. The $4 solution to it, that was amazing. Keep it up, guys. Legends.
No,
Josh, I don't know. Josh, I don't know if this is what you're referring to, but if I'm off base, just let me know. I've heard Alex say quite a number of times the company can accommodate 99 US users. That will be above, I think, $250,000. And then Bank of the Future or some other broker dealer, which they choose, can accommodate another 99 US users. International Unlimited. So that's 99 times 2, which is 198. The company, Celsius, can accommodate 99, and then the broker dealer can accommodate 99.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look for clarity, for the U.S. Investors here, because I feel like I've been getting some questions about, does it go towards the 99 or not? I just want to make sure it's crystal clear so that we don't have any, backlash or anything like that. So just trying to get out there. I'll ask again when Alex is in if I can. So Diego,
I heard him say it quite a few times, but let's ask him when he comes.
That's my understanding as well with Otis.
Yeah, okay. I understand it's as clear as day. That's what I understand.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that, Otis. Diego, I know you've been waiting for a little bit, so go ahead.
Cool. Yeah, thanks. I just had a follow-up question on the Fiat Gateway earlier. Is that going to support multiple currencies, or is it just USD? Just because obviously I'm based in the UK, so I was just wondering.
Yeah, not to start. It'll be US first, and then UK, and then Australia after. But pretty much everything we do starts in the US, just because
makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot more clarity here on these kinds of things, and our largest sect of users and assets is in the US.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Thanks.
Thanks for coming up and dropping your question. Average Joe, you're up next. Average Joe, you there?
I'm sorry, I had my mic on, or my mic was off. I apologize. Hey, just commenting on, I know people are like, hey, when are we going to advertise? When we can do some advertising? I just think right now would be a waste of time until, first you have to make it easy to understand, easy to explain, and easy to onboard people. And I think we, honestly can acknowledge that it's not as easy as it should be yet. And I'm confident it will get there. But with the no fees, the high yield, just improve, the experience. And then once all that's done with the swap and the ACH and everything, I think it's going to be, that's when it's really going to take off. So I think we're still early. And, I've been in sales and marketing for a long, long time. Yeah. And, it's just, you get it right. You prove the business, you got a proven business model. It just needs to be easily understood, easily explained, easily on board. And then with the ACH and the swap, I'm excited about that. I've already submitted to be, an accredited investor. So I'm excited about the higher yields that I'll be getting. And I'll be able to explain that to others as well and to bring them on. And it'll just explode from there. But to advertise now, it's just, it's not the wisest thing to do. So
yeah, anyway, if you think about it, it kind of blows my mind. Like, we're one of the largest crypto companies that exist, and you effectively cannot buy crypto on our app, right? If you look at the total users versus the active users, I think a lot of that difference is because people expect to be able to go on our app and purchase coins, and rightfully so, but they haven't been able to do that. And then they haven't been able to trade like they can do on every other app as well. Yeah. So I think it's a testament to two things. One, we have a long way to go, but two, look how far we've come with the limited access and capabilities that we've had. So,
yeah, I would just add one other thing. I'm on the Voyager app as well. I have most of my stuff, my holdings is on Celsius because that's where I was at first. But I got to tell you, the company should look at other, trading platforms and apps like Voyager and say, oh, this is really cool. We can easily do this, and just add some of those, just incorporate some of those little things. It wouldn't cost, it wouldn't take a whole lot of programming effort, to make some of those minor changes. But just to go around and just cherry pick the best of the best, whether it's Binance or, I don't like Coinbase because it's so expensive to trade on there. So, but Voyager's really good. Well, take some of the, it's always a compliment when you see someone doing something well and you imitate that. That's what it just makes you even more successful. So just imitate what works well.
Yeah. We've got no issue with looking at what other companies are doing and bringing a version of that to Celsius. Like we want to bring whatever works best, right? We're just going to kind of do it in our style by having no fees and building it in-house. I think we learned that lesson where everything that we put in the app has to be in-house. We're not going to be white labeling these kind of products. It doesn't provide the level of service that we really need.
Right. And then last thing, can you explain Celsius X? I really don't understand that. I've heard about it. I just haven't had time to look at it. And I heard there's a video out there on it.
Yeah, there is a video on the YouTube. You'll see it. If you just look down that, it came out maybe a month ago.
Okay.
And Celsius X is the DeFi arm of Celsius. So for the past 4 years, we've been building a CeFi institution that is custodying your crypto, deploying it on different strategies, including DeFi. But when we're putting these assets on DeFi, we're basically using Compound, Aave, Uniswap, other platforms. Celsius X is its own DeFi protocol that we're going to operate in the best interest of the user. So we can deploy assets, we can bridge different chains, we can wrap tokens, we can do whatever we want to do, which is going to really help our deployment. And Cell Token is going to be integrated into that. So it's building a completely new section of the company. Think of like right now we have our left leg, which is CeFi, and we're building out the right leg in DeFi.
Just to kind of piggyback off of all that, in my thoughts about the direction of Celsius, this all gets me pretty excited about the future because it shows that Celsius's business model is foundational. And I feel like when you go, down the street in Vegas and you start seeing crypto.com advertisements everywhere, like go ahead, let them do that. Let them take that surface investment to get people aware, but that's just going to onboard more people. And when those people eventually get onboarded, they're going to discover Celsius one way or another, and they're going to see, wow, Celsius actually does better for me. And the competition is going to have spent all of their money wasted on superficial advertising and not have a foundational model that's going to survive and actually do good for the community. And to me, this is just a perfect example of why I think that you're going to have such tremendous success at Celsius with this Celsius X and all these other foundational things that are creating true yield.
That's exactly right. The switchover cost from one platform to another is almost nothing, right? I mean, if someone is offered a higher rate at a competitor, they can leave, within hours if they want to, right, or days, right, depending on the platform. Celsius is going to offer everything that Crypto.com does and every other platform for free, okay? And it's going to cost you nothing, only to trust us with your coins. After that, we're going to pay you rewards every week. We're going to allow you to swap for free. You're going to be able to ACH on and off for free. You're going to have extremely high rates and so on, right? How is Crypto.com going to compete with free swaps? If you're a trader, are you going to want to go to any exchange and pay 0.1% even when you know you could do it at Celsius for free? Are you going to want to go and onboard your stable coins somewhere else and have to pay a fee to transfer them when you could do it all in-house at Celsius? The foundation that we've built should not be underestimated, and that's going to service all of our users for the rest of the existence of the company, right? We're never going to have to charge a fee because we're creating so much value on the yield side of things.
And, people need to be reasonable. You can't have it, Celsius can't have it both ways. You can't have it where Mashinsky is giving back $1 billion to the community, and all of a sudden you want him to go out and spend $700 million on a stadium deal over 20 years, which is, I think, $34 million per year. That's money coming out of the community's pocket. You know, me personally, I'm happy the way that he did it. He has made my life better and a lot of people's lives better. A lot of Celsius that I know, they rely on this weekly interest just to buy food, groceries, or pay rent, or take care of their family. I mean, Lakers are already rich. So
Hey, Otis,
that's just my opinion. Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Otis, like why does it have to be one or the other though? Like, I don't understand why it has to be one or the other. Like, why couldn't Celsius dilute the equity holders another $100 million, raise $100 million just for advertising? You don't have to buy stadiums or do anything crazy, but targeted advertising like that's efficient. I mean, it just to throw a few stats at you guys, like
we
just
can discuss the numbers. I just don't think it should be 700 million. We can discuss.
No,
it.
no,
I'm not saying
no.
I'm not saying no advertising, but I mean the advertising that the community expects is, you know, FTX has Miami Arena and
Yeah,
Lakers.
but Otis,
I mean, 50 or 100 million. I'm not going to object to 50 or
but I'm saying
100 million.
my main point, Otis, is just it's not. It doesn't have to be either or, and I think it's a false thing. It's a false way to like present it to the community to say, well, it's either we advertise, like we're going to either take money from everyone, you know, it has to come from the community, because that's not true. You can dilute shareholders. Like, it doesn't have to come from the community, right? You don't have to do one or the other. Like, I know that a lot of equity holders would be stoked to get slightly like diluted a very small quantity. It's mostly Alex diluting his shares to raise an extra $100 million specifically for advertising. Like, you guys don't understand how valuable it is to be ranked high on CoinMarketCap, right? So CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko get 380 million visits, the website, not including the app, per month, right?
But
and so
here's the issue: you're having okay. Let's say let's use a hypothetical. Let's say you spend 200 million on advertising. The numbers go up from 1.3 million users to up to 7 or 8 million users. You still have to be able to onboard the not users, members. The active users is what's not moving. We just don't have the infrastructure for the active users. So we can spend all the money on advertising, sure. But I mean, how are you going to onboard them? We have 1.3 million members in the app and 470,000 active users. Those numbers are not even close. So let's just say we spend 100 million or 200 million on advertising and the members go to 7 million. If the active users only get to 1 million, that's still a problem.
I agree. I agree with you, Otis. I totally agree with you. I'm not saying to do advertising today. I'm saying at some point in the future, once everything's like, say, 6 months from now, 3 months from now, once they have the onboarding really like that's ready to go, at some point in time, you have to advertise. Like you like, just for an example,
I agree with that. I don't. But until you have the infrastructure, you just can't spend the money. You're not going to get the results that you want.
I do agree. I just think it's false for Alex to like say to the community, it's either the money has to come from you, because the money can come from diluting shareholders. Like it can. It doesn't have to come from the yield. Doesn't have to come from the community. You can like small amount dilute the shareholders to raise another $100 million. That's my entire point. The last thing I'll say is, I don't think people understand the competitive advantage that Crypto.com has by having a native token in the top 15. It is a huge competitive advantage because the amount of eyeballs, like I said, 380 million people per month on the website, not even including the apps. And then you have Crypto.com's app being ranked so high. And if you look at Crypto.com, or sorry, if you look at CoinMarketCap, right beside Crypto.com, you see a little tag to buy. So 380 million people that visit those websites can literally click a button right beside the token in the top 13 and buy it right there with zero fees. That is how you get your token to do well. So I think there's just so many things that need to be addressed. Like by Celsius being out of the top 100, the Cell token, it is I would argue it's the biggest problem or the biggest thing that's holding Celsius back from competing at a higher level, because Crypto.com being ranked that high, the token is, they're getting hundreds of millions of dollars of free advertising. Like seriously, the advertising they're saving is absurd. Plus, Not only that, like it's so easy to buy their token right there with all those eyeballs on it.
It goes back to what I'm saying. The infrastructure is not there. Okay, let's say Celsius is in the top 10. You still can't click on a button to buy the Cell token. You can't.
Yeah, I agree with you.
How do you buy Cell token?
All I'm saying is
to this day.
Yeah.
The other thing to keep in mind too, guys, is that what is this overall market? Like, there's a bunch of people that are looking at things from the lens of the crypto industry rather than a global lens. And the percentage of people out there that don't know anything about crypto is still phenomenally small. And so this advertising and targeted marketing about any of these branded crypto industry websites and whatnot, it's still relatively niche. And so I still think that it's very important that a strong foundation gets built. And as that foundation gets more and more solid, then that onboarding process becomes phenomenally easy and enjoyable for the non-crypto audience.
This problem is not going to be fully solved until you can log into your Celsius app, press a button, and buy a Cell token.
Right. They're working on.
That's what we need. Until we get that, and regulation is standing in the way, we just can't get to where we want to. And Alex is not going to risk the community. There's an old saying that we Jamaicans love to say, and I'll say it in Jamaican, but I'll say it in English. Puss and dog don't have the same luck. That means cats and dogs don't have the same luck. A cat may run across the street and not get hit, but a dog runs across the street and he'll die. So I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Plan C, for explaining the advertising part, and being positioned, whether it's crypto.com or wherever, because that is huge, and I'm sure they are aware of that. Again, going back to what we've all been saying, we just got to be able to onboard, understand, explain, and once that's all with the ACH and the swap, that is just going to open up the doors, and that's when you kind of throw a little bit of money advertising, get listed on Binance and wherever else you need to, and so forth, and then But right now, yeah,
I would just
100% agree.
Just the last thing to say here on this topic, then we'll get off stage, is the token, the token. Like you have the biggest billboard in all of crypto. If you have your token in the top 20, it's so, I know you can't magically put your token up there, but if you focus so much attention on the utility and improving the token and throw whatever amount of money at the token to improve it, it's like I said, the best billboard in all of crypto is being ranked in the top 50 to top 20. Once you're off the first page, you just lose. You're just losing out big time.
No, it's huge, and on the way up too, it's massive marketing, right? For if anytime a coin is going up, it grabs a ton of attention, which is huge, and I totally agree with you. But I think it'd be interesting to ask if we're just saving that bullet for when we're ready to do that, because right now, again, we have a huge amount of users that have signed up with Celsius and haven't fully engaged because, one, they can't really buy coins on the app and it's not where it needs to be. So, I have a meeting scheduled with Alex next week, a video conference, probably half an hour. It's going to be me and another good friend of mine that's in the top 100. And the Celsius utilities is what we're calling out specifically. I've written out a few things. I've sent it to Zach. I've sent it to Wasim. I've sent it to Alex. So those are the things we're discussing. Basically, I'm saying the same thing you're saying, that we can't just sit down and wait for the SEC to make rules as the Cell token, goes down. The market is going up and your token is going down. The market is going down and your token is going down. That doesn't make any sense. So you can do something in the interim. And what you can do is you can add more real utilities to the Cell token. One of them, I think you mentioned, but I mentioned it also, no interest if you take loan against Cell. And also, a big thing for me is it's all hands on deck right now, which means the Bitcoin maxis and the Ethereum maxis, they have to participate. They have to, you have to find a way for them to hold Cell token. And
I have quite a good number of ideas, and I'll discuss them with him next week.
Guys, out of respect to the others on stage, can we put this in the back pocket for a second? And
you can put me down. I'm yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah,
thank you.
Correct.
No, I do think, just to conclude this conversation, like, I think there's a lot of merit to Zach and Average Joe's point that, you know, once the product is finished, you have the on ramps and you've got the swaps and everything, you know, worked out, or through beta and everything. Then you've got a finished product, then marketing. It's probably best to start executing then. So just sit tight. If this conversation comes back up, we'll get back into it, but we got to keep it moving, guys. Kevin, you're up next. Kevin, can't hear you if you're speaking.
Are you able to hear me now?
Oh, good. Go for it.
Okay, awesome. So I'm in Canada, and I know Alex was mentioning once that the fiat on and off ramps were going to be in US and Canada initially. I don't know about the same time or not, but so you're mentioning ACH was the payment network used in the US. In Canada, there's something called Interact e-transfers. Like, all the Canadian exchanges do it, and Crypto.com actually does it as well. It's like a really easy way through your banking app just to get money on and off for no fee. Emma, is it safe to assume that's what you'll be using for Canada?
I don't have that detail.
Okay, no problem. Thanks.
No problem. Thanks for coming up and waiting as long as you did. Appreciate that. Ozzy, I believe you're next.
Hey, Josh. I'll just chime in. Just not too much to go back to what was spoken about before, but I know that America is number one, and that's the most important market. But also, just on the marketing side, not to forget that it is crypto is global, and there is absolutely nothing stopping anyone else in the world from easily accessing Cell Token. And the importance of marketing that fact globally is, in my opinion, is very important. And one of the best things that Celsius has from a marketing standpoint is that 80% of their revenue goes back to the community. So whatever marketing that gets spent, that turns into profit. The whole idea is that goes back to the community. So it's not one of those models where you spend all this money on marketing and it goes to the top of the pyramid. It goes to all of the community. So whatever marketing can be done, I think is a net positive. Cheers.
Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us, Reagan. Appreciate that. Tecmo, what's going on? Welcome back up.
Hey guys. So I don't want to continue that discussion too much, but I will say that when I first got into crypto, I used Crypto.com. Had a little bit of their token, got their Ruby card and all that jazz. But eventually, once I smartened up and actually started educating myself, I realized I'm getting fleeced in fees every time I tried to swap, every time I tried to withdraw. Sometimes I couldn't even withdraw certain coins. So that left a really sour taste in my mouth. And I was so happy to get my last dollar out of that platform. Not trying to bash them. I mean, they provide a service that I just personally wasn't pleased with. Just because I hate fees. I came from the financial independence world where you realize that even a 1% fee on a expense ratio on a stock index fund is massive and can take large chunks of your total portfolio over the years. So, they did all this great marketing, and then I discovered Celsius, and now I'm a Celsian for life because of the ethos. And so, we talk about Crypto.com and all this stuff and all this great marketing and having the token and all this stuff, but their core ethos is what I didn't like and why I moved over here. So again, other people have said it, but I think their advertising helps us in terms of just getting exposure. And then once, like you said, I'm trying to onboard 2 people today that just learned, because they were like, I talked about Celsius and they were like, oh, what is this? I got to Google this. And I had to explain, I'm like, look, right now I recommend you using Gemini, Strike, or FTX for low fees to purchase and then free transfers into Celsius. But that whole speech will be non-existent soon, and it'll be fantastic. So I just wanted, and then just to touch on the Cell utility, I personally am more in that Bitcoin Maxi group. So I granted, I'm American, so it's a little kind of different for me in that it's much harder for me to obtain the Cell token. But I personally, and I hope that's okay, I say this, it's constructive criticism, but like I personally don't have a huge interest in obtaining Cell right now, because I don't take loans right now. I plan to in the future, but any of the utility that it has, for me to like get platinum, I would have to spend so much money to even hit like certain levels for it to matter, when honestly I would rather invest in Bitcoin.
Exactly my point.
So for me, there is no real reason for me to get Cell right now. And I know if you guys are working on utility, but I don't even care about that. I love Celsius, the product. That's why I became an ambassador through Scott, and I'm out there like literally every day talking to many people about Celsius because I love the product and the ethos. And if some of them may love the Cell token, great. Get the Cell token and invest in it if you think it's going to go up, if you think it's going to help you. But it doesn't even matter to me because they're going to have a great time in the app, even more so as it gets better. So that's my one thing. And then the only one quick thing I wanted to add was I called the customer support line yesterday, had a tiny issue. It was resolved in less than 10 minutes. Shout out to Will down there. And it was a tremendous experience. So if anybody has issues, some little minor issues, definitely give them a call. They were super helpful, super friendly, and a great addition to the overall ethos of the product that I'm talking about. I had an issue at Crypto.com. It did not go well like that. So that's all I got.
Thanks for sharing with us, Tecmo. That's exactly what we're kind of saying here, and appreciate the feedback. Cellcat, welcome back up.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that's a really great testimony there. So someone who used Crypto.com and found Celsius, and I was actually technically one of those people because I got a Crypto.com card, and it's been sitting in that drawer ever since I read through all the nonsense. If you want to read it up for yourself, you can just go and check out all their, written up nonsense, whatever. You read through the terms and conditions. So basically, I just never activated the card. Found Celsius, super excited. And I kind of look at it like, you got two different buckets of water, like clean drinking water is the way I'll put it here, right? So you got the two buckets of, you got the Crypto.com bucket of clean drinking water. It's fresh, beautiful. And you got Celsius bucket of clean drinking water. It's the same thing, and then the Crypto.com, what they did was they were like, you know what? Let's go all out. And then they just, they're bathing in that crisp water and it feels great. And everyone's like, yeah. And then, and then it's gone. And then what do? Because you got nothing left. And then Celsius is over here just taking little sips, letting it go. Oh, look, we've been surviving for years now off this one little bucket. That's amazing. It's incredible how much you can stretch this. It's great, So I much prefer the Celsius strategy of just using what they need to, right? Relying off the community, because that builds real community structure. When you don't have that and you kind of just rely off of, yelling the loudest, it doesn't pay off in the long term. It really doesn't. Like, I've seen that happen many, many times before, and it doesn't pan out. So yeah, that's kind of the way I see it on that front. And then I guess the other thing I wanted to say is that, and I just lost my thought, but maybe I'll come back to it later.
Sure, just let us know. Thanks for sharing with the group. Appreciate it. Nate, I believe you're up next.
Yep. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Yeah, just quick question. Hopefully this should be an easy one on leadership, and sorry if you've already covered this. So I saw some recent news. Can you just quickly confirm that the CEO of Celsius, Yoram Shalom, wasn't arrested in Israel recently on allegations relating to the Moshe Hogeg case? It's just a big crypto case in Israel where Hogeg was arrested, I believe, along with 7 others. And Just wanted to confirm whether your CFO is one of them. Thank you.
I cannot confirm. If there's a statement, the company will say something, but I got no information on that.
But you can't confirm or deny, or?
No, I cannot confirm or deny.
Okay. Do you have any sense of when we can expect a statement on that?
I don't know. There's been no discussion around that, so I would send in a question to regulation at Celsius.network, and they would probably be the best ones to get you an answer.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Or just ask Alex when he comes on tonight.
Yeah, or that, yeah.
Yep. Thanks for coming up, Nate. Dave, you're up next.
Hello. I was wondering, does Celsius have anything that offers developers? Because this is also the first time I heard about Celsius X, which sounds kind of cool because I'm familiar with Dexes and stuff. So I was just wondering, what's in it for developers?
Yeah, I mean, we need a ton of developers. What exactly were you looking for?
I don't know. I looked on the developer page. I saw like there's an API and wallet or some wallet API or something.
Yeah.
So is it like something where, let's say I'm building like a, let's say like an open source wallet, and hypothetically I could be offering customers swaps within the wallet, or maybe I need like a privilege API key or something?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, there is stuff for developers as far as that to kind of do your own thing, reporting, and it's all done through APIs. There's keys inside the app as well that you can connect your wallet to. But I don't know exactly what's possible there. I don't have a strong grip on that technical side. But yeah, I think there's an email on that page that you could request more information and see what you can really do.
Thanks. And finally, love these AMAs. It was fun to attend.
Yep, of course.
Yep. Thanks for coming up and participating. Thanks for your question. Reagan, did you have another question or comment for us?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. I was just curious with the swaps. So I know that the likes of Crypto.com and whatnot have a lot more sort of trading pairs available, even though you need to pay fees where Celsius is going to be free. I'm just curious as to what your thoughts are on how you're going to sort of combat that model with Celsius maybe not being able to offer as many pairs as some of the competition.
What was the question in that?
I was in how are you going to compete with the other sort of CFIs that offer more pairs, even though their platform's probably inferior and they've got fees and whatnot. But if they've got more pairs, is that going to sort of encourage people to sort of stick with them?
Well, I mean, of course, more pairs is better, and we're going to continue to expand our offerings, and probably even going to go into assets that we don't provide yield on, but should be able to swap. So, we're not trying to compete as an exchange. We're just trying to offer flexibility in assets to our user base. So that's what really swaps is much more about, and it's going to provide a very high level of convenience for quite a few assets. I mean, not everything, but we've got 45, almost 50 coins on the platform now, and that's going to continue to grow over time. So I would say that we're not trying to compete with an exchange or as an exchange, but Swaps is going to allow those that are holding coins on other platforms or holding coins in Celsius a lot more flexibility than what's been possible up to date.
that's awesome if you're going to offer ones, pairs that you may not necessarily be able to yield on. I think that'll be a great addition. And just one quick comment. I think and I think it's probably something that Otis has been thinking about and is going to talk about next week. But one of the key goals is obviously, I think was it TMAC or Tecmo? Sort of mentioned before. It's trying to convince the Tecmos of the world to get involved in the token in some way, shape, or form, even if they are a maxi. So, looking forward to hearing the developments on that.
Yeah, and Zach, on like what Reagan's talking about there with the pairs and everything, the swap, you're going to be able to basically swap anything for anything. Well, almost anything. Obviously, not the cell token here in the US, but I mean, like, you're going to be able to swap BDC to ETH or BDC to Polygon or whatever. Is it going to be like that?
Yeah, I think they changed it a little bit to make everything trade into stable coins first, and then you could trade stable coins to everything else. But yeah, you're going to have kind of that unlimited flexibility to swap any asset into any other asset and for free, which is going to be very tough service to beat.
Yeah, see anyone beating that. Reagan, do you have any other questions or?
No, all good. Cheers, thanks.
All right. Will, what's going on?
Hey, Josh, what's up? This question is for Zach. How are things going in a new call center? Like, what's the main concerns that the callers are calling and asking about? Like, what's the volume of incoming calls coming through? Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, I don't have those stats. I've heard a handful of people that have called the center and have had great experiences. I heard a guy that called and it got delayed. There was an issue with the phone line, which is not unexpected for the opening day or opening first week. But I'd recommend going and giving them a call, 1-866-HODL now, and ask them any question. Ask them about a product, ask them about an idea, ask them, how do I reset my password, whatever, give it a shot. The hours are pretty generous. It's 8 a.m. or is it 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. EST? Something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
it's 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. EST, Monday through Friday.
Yeah, so pretty generous hours and availability, and again, just providing a level of service that other companies do not offer.
Got it. Thank you, Zach.
The other thing I'd like to add to that, too, is it's still a little early. We just opened for the first full day Monday. So as time goes on, we'll have more information for you on that. So after this first week, we should have some good numbers and some good use cases to figure out what most people are calling about. But I had a conversation with Chris today. I gave him the feedback that I've received from my team on the social media side. And it's all been, for the most part, good. A lot of success stories of people like the previous person who came on stage. I think it was Tecmo maybe, who got helped with his problem fairly quickly. That's most of the things that are coming in so far. It's only been a day or two, but we'll have more information. But so far, it's going very, very well.
It's good to know.
Yeah, glad to hear that. Will, did that conclude your questions up here?
Pretty much. Appreciate you guys.
No problem. Thanks for coming up. Craig, I believe you're up next.
Hi. I have a question. How many stable coins on Celsius are not on Ethereum blockchain?
I think all of them are right now.
Are there any plans to offer non-Ethereum stable coins in the future?
Yes. I think they're going to operate on Polygon, but I don't have any details on that, but that's kind of part of the Celsius X initiative.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, thanks for coming up. Chuck, you're up next.
Hey guys, first time to be on talking on the spaces and have listened quite a few times. I'd like to make a couple of comments on some of the things that came up earlier and then end up with a question. And to start with, I'm on most of the major yield platforms. I have accounts there, but I have over 80% of all of my cryptos and stablecoins in Celsius. And the reason I'm not 100% here is I just don't want to have all my eggs in one basket, just kind of a conservative mind on all of this. And the reason, though, that I have 80% here, I don't think some of these have been covered in the prior discussions, which is why I wanted to just add them. And after listening to the AMAs and following Alex starting last year when he was first on Real Vision, and that's actually what got me into Celsius, was that presentation. I believe that Celsius has more yield-generating modes than any of the other platforms that are out there. And to me, that is really good in terms of making sure that the yield is secure. And I think that's probably why you guys have a higher yield on most of the tokens compared to all of the other platforms. The other that was really important to me was security, because if I've got 60% of my net worth in this space, and I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning and find that 60% of that is gone, either because the platform went bankrupt or for security reasons, the tokens ended up somewhere they shouldn't have gone for whatever reason. So those two were, I think, in my mind, two of the key reasons why over 80% of what I have in this space is with Celsius. So when you're talking to other people and they're thinking of other platforms, be sure to bring up the yield generation, the multiple legs of this. It's more than just a tripod, and I think, Zach, you've covered it many times. The other things that really influenced me were the weekly AMAs on Friday. And since depositing so much of my net worth here, participating in these Twitter spaces, and then being able to communicate on Twitter to Scott and others and Tecmo, it's really, really good. So, and then as if we want to compete against somebody like Crypto.com, I don't think you have to do it like others have said by advertising, but just Alex's presence at all of the conferences, all of the crypto conferences, is huge. And then I think also that the more that Alex or other good representatives of Celsius can participate in crypto YouTubes with some of the influencers, that's really important. I've seen Alex do that, and you have to continue that, because that's the grassroots kind of stuff that works. And that's all I'm going to say on what I think about this Celsius, is why I've got most of my funds here. And then I sent Scott an article a few minutes ago by DM explaining why the stablecoin APY is up and BTC APY is down, Bitcoin APY is down. And I was kind of puzzled by that until I spotted this article, but it appears to be that the institutions that are in the futures market have switched from using cryptos like Bitcoin and Ethereum for margin, and have really ramped up the use of stablecoins for that. And I've posted that on my Twitter if anybody wants to take a look at it.
Yeah, those are usually cyclical phenomena. Like in the bear market, the Bitcoin rate was higher. It's because they want to borrow Bitcoin to short it. And then now the opposite's taking place, where stablecoin rates are high because people want to borrow those stablecoins to start new businesses, do whatever, or buy more crypto and go long.
Yeah, it makes sense, Zach, but until I saw the article and read it, I was puzzled. So I figured I'd share that to help other people. And then to end with a question, I'm in Portland and right across the river from Washington State, and many of my acquaintances over there would love to be in the Celsius platform, and unfortunately they can't. So they're going to places like Crypto.com or others, and their comment is, hey, we're not going to wait around for Celsius because I want to get out of the bank and get somewhere that I can earn a higher yield, even if it is riskier than Celsius, et cetera. So I don't know, do you have any update on when you might be able to onboard earn accounts in Washington State that I can share with some of them?
Sure. So unfortunately, it's just the regulatory environment there doesn't allow us to operate in a compliant way. I'm not sure if that's going to change anytime soon, but it's just the rules of that area make things extremely difficult for us to do business there.
Thank you, Zach. And thank you, guys. You do a great job, and I try to promote you as much as I can.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We appreciate you. Thanks for coming up and giving us your question and your feedback. Next up is Igor.
Hello again, Igor from Mexico City. I recently received an email with a survey about the credit card. Any information that you can share with us when it's going to be delivered the credit card, and also Mexico is in the scope of this credit card delivery in the next months? Thank you.
Yeah, no update on the credit card yet. That's definitely going to be a product coming out next year. The big product releases we announced last week were swaps coming to a much larger population of Celsians this week and every week going forward. Then after that will be Fiat Gateway, and then after that is U.S. Accredited earning and sell token. All of that will take place this year, and then next in line is credit card, and then other products, Celsius X, all that stuff's coming Q1, Q2 of next year.
Okay, but just to clarify, Mexico is included in the rollout for international credit cards availability?
Eventually, yeah. Mexico's not blocked or anything. It's just it'll start in the U.S. and expand, just like how swaps went now. Credit card will be a very similar rollout, I imagine.
Super. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Thanks for coming up and participating. Elton, you're.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? So I actually was thinking earlier today, I'm sure you guys are aware, or might not be, but a while back, Salvador, passed for its legal tender to be, BTC. So I was thinking, I've yet to see like a major like crypto exchange to attempt to go, I wouldn't want to say educate, but, expand their network out there. And one thing I noticed about, I have a lot of family from El Salvador is that not a lot of people are taking the effort, to actually learn about it because their resources are so limited. And so I don't know if you guys are aware that the president actually gave like all of their citizens, I believe, about $30 in Bitcoin. So, I thought it would probably be a good, you could also call it marketing campaign, but also like a great way just to expand out to like these countries that are barely experiencing out with them. And I know we talked about in one of the AMAs last week that, it would be great like if a mayor or something like that declared like, oh, hey, like I'm using Celsius. So you never know. The president over there is very big on Bitcoin. And, I know it's very far away, but I can just imagine that in the future just being so big.
Yeah, I mean, we already have some sovereign wealth funds that hold assets with us, and we can continue to expand those operations. Everybody needs yield. That's why it's the killer app. And, everyone from individuals to companies to cities to whole countries need more money on their money. And we are attracting all those different groups of people.
Cool. Great to hear. Also, I was there on Friday at the event, very dope event, and it was good meeting a lot of you guys.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks for being there. It really is awesome meeting up with Celsians in person, and shook a lot of hands. I got to meet a lot of really cool hodlers, and thank you for being a part of this.
I thought I heard Alex say he has a couple of mayors but are using the app, but he's not at liberty to say who they are yet. I thought I heard him say that.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yep, I heard that as well. Elton, thanks for coming up. Crypto Farmer, I believe you're next. Crypto Farmer, if you're...
Yeah, I'm still here. Sorry, good evening, everyone. I'm calling from the nation's capital. Big Celsius here. I listened to a lot of my peers talk in this chat, and how they were talking about the crypto.com scenario and things like that. I initially got into crypto through crypto.com about a year ago, and it almost wrecked me because when I got in, I bought in at the top, and of course it crashed after that. Same scenario. Now I'm really surprised app in conjunction with the Celsius app, but I'll just leave it at that. But one of the things that I wanted to say was, is there a way, because when I came in Celsius, I found Celsius after crypto.com, because I came into crypto.com, like I said, the token tanked, almost got out of crypto for good, and then I discovered Celsius. Started listening to Alex, the Mashinsky method. I said, hey, that's a plan right there. So I started following the Mashinsky method, paying down all my high debt credit cards, dollar cost averaging in, building my position, and having a good mix of different coins and tokens in my portfolio. I've done all that, but then again, being a U.S. citizen, I feel like, things are, so hard, like the benefits, like you do all those things, you followed it, and you right there. Like right now, I could take out a nice, decent loan to pay off the rest of my high debt credit cards, but I can't because I'm in a U.S. citizen. But I go to say, is there anything that maybe you all are working in the back that I know you got to be accredited? And I think I caught like a little bit of it. Y'all talk that you could get on the list, and you could correct me if I'm wrong. $5,000 over the counter transaction that could put you on the list. Is that correct?
So you have to be accredited to interact with OTC, meaning you have to have $1 million worth of liquid assets. You have to make $200,000 a year for, I think, 2 or 3 years, or you have to pass the Series 65 to get accredited. This is all 1930s Securities Act. If you can qualify under one of those, then you can do an OTC trade, and then that'll put you on the list to earn and sell US.
Okay. So let me ask you: is there anything for those that are following the Mashinsky method and things like that, and can't really reap the benefits? Like what is next for us? Because I find myself like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, the part of the Mashinsky method is to pay off debt, high interest debt first. Our loans are a great product for that. Once you pay that off, you are earning compounding yield on appreciating assets. And then the other is kind of behaviors where you're saving more than you're spending. You're making financially wise decisions. All this stuff is kind of lifestyle changes. It's not get rich quick changes by any means, but it's a way to change your behavior so you end up in a better place financially over the long term. It's like it may take you a handful of years to get to that place, but once you're there, then you never have to go back.
Okay. Just one more thing real quick, Zach. Have y'all ever thought about, because I work for a telecommunication company here in the nation's capital, and we onboard like a lot of the people that use our services, and then there's an app. So you don't have to use the app to use our services, but what happens is we figured out that we retain like 80 to 90%, and then people could easily, like basically we onboard the people. They come in. Basically, my job is to make sure they download the app, They know how to use the app and the functions, create their names and passwords. Sometimes, because since Celsius is going this route, have y'all ever thought about maybe developing some kind of department that could onboard people per se, like help them download the app, talk them through, boom, they're in. Because a lot of people just download the app and then never get to it for months.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of part of the ambassador program is to have people help them through those first couple weeks. But I think customer care will kind of evolve to that as well to help people get onboarded, understand the services that we provide, and give them insight on how to use Celsius best.
Right.
I think it'll evolve into that. It's not right now, just as we get things started, but that's part of the help that we need from the community is to onboard users and then help them with any questions that they have, so that they can become really successful users long term.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yep.
One thing I wanted to jump in here and say before Alex comes up on stage is we're going to have a Thanksgiving edition to the AMA. So if anyone has any Celsius Thanksgiving stories, like giving thanks and explaining how Celsius has helped or changed their lives for the better, feel free to submit those Celsius Thanksgiving stories to myself. You can just send it to my Twitter, and then I'll make sure that we get that and send that in for review to see if it can be included on the AMA. But I did want to make sure I got that in before Alex gets on stage here.
Appreciate that, Scott. And Crypto Farmer, thanks for coming up and giving some feedback and dropping your questions. Appreciate it. Next up is Jason.
Hey guys, thanks for having me up again. I just wanted to ask a question. I guess I'll just try to explain my mindset a little bit first. This is something that I've talked to Plan C about. He's the one who kind of made me aware of customer base. I'm currently in Australia, and once I get access to swaps here, it would be a very small technical step to make to essentially implement something where you have an instant swap with your yield. So I have Bitcoin, I'm earning in sell, I'm earning 25% more because I'm a platinum user. And then I instant swap that sell back to Bitcoin. And essentially I've just earned 25% more in kind with very little changes happening on top of the platform after swaps are functionally rolled out.
This is definitely some stuff that we're building. The gentleman that's building swaps right now is talking about how we can add limit orders, how we can add dollar cost averaging, how we can do automatic trades of some degree. And this is actually something I want to ask Alex when he comes up is, our token model has really benefited earning and sell token and then creating a hodler of that token. But now with swaps and ACH, it's going to be a scenario where somebody could earn and sell, get that higher rate, and then switch right back into Bitcoin. I have no idea how many users are going to do that, but it makes me wonder if that's going to be an issue or if that's behavior that's fine, or if that kind of encourages changes to the model. So I'm really curious about that.
Because from my perspective, the second that like me in Australia, I have access to 25% more if I want yield in kind. If, all of a sudden with the focus back on US accredited earn and sell, well, US non-accredited still don't get that. And they obviously can't earn the same rates as we internationals will be having in kind.
Right.
So I just don't quite understand the focus on US accredited earn and sell anymore after the model has kind of changed.
Yeah, Alex, I was wondering if I could get your opinion on that. Like, if users are going to have the capability to earn a higher rate and sell, but intend to just swap it automatically out, is that a net positive because we're creating volume, or how do you think that affects the original token model we've been using for the past couple of years?
Well, that's not what we're seeing with people who earn and sell. We're seeing them hodl. We don't see them swapping out. So in theory, obviously everything is possible, but these are most accredited investors already have been earning for a long time with Celsius, so I don't see that as a problem.
I guess if I can,
I can say I don't plan to do it.
Well, I guess just as myself, as an individual who's living in Australia, it would give me the functionality to, if I wanted to, earn 25% more in kind, whereas people in the US wouldn't have access to, I guess, that functionality.
Yeah, they will, because the U.S. accredited that will be able to earn and sell will also be able to swap for sell because they're accredited. So I think I think it works out in the best because it creates a high incentive to hold sell token to get platinum status, and then you could swap out of sell if you want, or hold on to the sell token like most users are doing now. So that's actually beneficial both ways.
I guess just with U.S. non-accredited, then they would be the only ones missing out. Do you not think it would make sense to have it be 25% more in kind for them as well, or not something that we're going to implement right now?
You know what? I think that's an interesting idea, and something that we should discuss, right? Because right now for unaccredited users, they don't get the full benefits of sell token. But what if we gave them the option to become platinum and then earn a higher rate in kind because they're legally unable to earn and sell? Alex, what do you think about that, or any way that we could accommodate unaccredited U.S. users?
Well, unaccredited is a whole separate issue. It's not something where we don't know what the rules are going to be for that. We're just talking about what we do know and what we are launching.
Great. I think that's about as complete of an answer as I can hope for. Thank you very much for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks for coming up, Jason. Welcome in, Alex. Glad you're joining us tonight. There's been a lot of talk around marketing, sell token as a marketing vehicle, etc. I've been hit up with a few questions as far as the U.S. accredited stuff rolling in here soon. With the Verify Investor, you need to get accredited every month or every couple of months. Is this something where if people are going to want to participate in the accredited earn and sell, that they need to maybe check on their accreditation now, and then after they are able to access that utility, are they going to have to constantly get accredited every couple of months to continue to stay in that program?
Well, if you have a lot of assets, that's like, I think, a few $1 million, then you need to do it only once a year. If you're close to the accreditation, so let's say you're making $260,000 a year, which is the limit is $250,000, then they're probably going to need to be accredited every 6 months, but not more often than that. And I don't think there's any requirement that is less than 6 months right now. Now, there is like a loophole. I think it's even if you're not accredited from a dollar standpoint, but you pass a series, I think it's a Series 67, which is a test that you can take on, with almost any broker-dealer, and then you basically get an accredited status even if you don't have the money or the income. Right, so there are ways to get accredited without having the dollars in your pocket. So anyone who's serious about this, go online, do a search, and you can decide which one of the options apply to you. In more general terms, we are looking to dramatically expand our marketing of sell to non-US users. So if you guys have any agencies or any kind of partners that you think we should work on this with, definitely send it our way, and we're looking to add many new ways of promoting or marketing sell token to non-US users.
Thank you for that, Alex. Guys, please share the room out. Let everyone know we're live. And if you want to participate, just tap on that mic in the bottom left. Go ahead, Scott.
Welcome to the stage, Alex. I just wanted to ask you one question that I got a lot of recent questions about this today, actually, and it's regarding the announcement of Celsius investing an additional $300 million into its mining operations. Can you talk a little bit about what that means for Celsius and its members?
Yeah, so 500 million is a much more round number than 200. So we just wanted to have a more round number. No, I'm just kidding. We think it's a good business, right? I mean, it cost us $7,000 or $8,000 to mint a Bitcoin. Obviously, it trades for much more than that, and very few companies can make this level of commitment. Again, as our community grows, as our user base grows, we need to invest more to be able to continue paying this yield. And we think, as we've seen with many others, they're just going to wither away. I mean, a lot of our competitors have like teaser rates that they do, and then they choke up. They get 5,000 Bitcoin or whatever, and they can't really continue paying the rates, right? They're all over the rates. So Celsius is over 110,000 Bitcoin, and we have 6 legs to the stool where we're earning yield. So we plan to be able to continue to pay, the best yield on Bitcoin.
All right. Thank you for that answer. Appreciate it.
Yep. Moving right along here. Blake, I believe you're up next.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Hey, thank you guys for having me. I love the transparency and accessibility, and that's why I'm here in the first place. Scott, sorry I had to reschedule my ambassador meeting. I was off getting married in the Virgin Islands, and as great as it was, I'm a little bummed because I had to miss the meetup here in Vegas, which is where I live. So my question is, when will the next Vegas meetup be? Because I'd love to get involved. Thank you.
I'm back in Vegas for, I think it's December 9th or something. This is the Real Vision event. So we can check and see, maybe we can do something during the 2 days that I'm there. So, Zach, if you want to ping Bethany to see or whoever, to see if they want to organize another one,
Sure.
This time we'll take the stadium to make sure there's room for everybody.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Or the pyramid. We can rent the pyramid,
There you go, the Luxor. We'll turn the pyramid upside down.
No, don't do the Luxor unless you want sticky feet. Thanks for coming up, Blake. Appreciate that. I believe, Nathan, you're up next.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. Long time Celsian here. I've been here since 2018. I guess there's OGs that have been here longer, but just a quick question about the careers page. You guys have mentioned that you guys are looking for a ton of people. The Nevada, the Alberta, the that are in those places also available for anyone in the world laterally down in that time zone into Central South America, if we want to get involved in that. And second,
we'll do one thing at a time. Don't get too caught up on the location of those positions. There's definitely some flexibility when it comes to, if you have a skill that we need, it's not about you being in the right place as much as you having the right skills.
Okay.
Especially being a Celsian that's already so familiar with the product, that's hugely valuable to us. So always apply. Don't. I feel like sometimes people look for an excuse not to apply, and you should do the opposite. You should look for any excuse to apply to multiple positions that may fit you.
He lives in Reno, so
perfect.
We're trying to move him to Vegas, but he's he loves Reno.
Perfect. Yeah, I've submitted a few, so just wanted to clarify what the qualifications were for that time zone thing. And second of all, just a feature thing. I think Zach mentioned you guys are thinking about DCA once the swaps come in, but even before that, is there a way to build a DCA function for us to start repaying our loans so we can DCA out of our loans on a regular basis, just to build the habit, the habit and the discipline?
Yes, so our loans are mostly balloon loans, but at any time you can refi because there's no penalty, right? So you don't need to wait like with mortgages and all this other stuff. They charge you points, so it costs you money to refi. Celsius has zero penalties, right? So we don't care if you take a big loan, split it into 3 small loans, or you take a big loan, pay it down, and make it a new loan for another 3 years. None of that stuff matters, you know. So you have to think about it as like this continuous credit line that you have, and you use it as needed, right? So I know again people get caught up in because they think that we're like a bank, right? We're gonna ask you for paperwork. We're gonna give you a hard time. We're gonna charge you fees. Refi a loan and see how easy it is. Boom, 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 you're done, right? So just like opening a new loan in less than 5 minutes. So I think I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, I agree with you that having the discipline to kind of pay it down is a good thing. But when it's a line of credit, you don't have to think about it as a kind of a mortgage that you pay down over time, right? Which the way we like to think about it is like, you have any credit card debt, pay it down, right? There's no question about it. You should not have any of that credit card debt charging you 18 to 24%. Okay, so you take out the loan, the amount of the credit card debt, boom, take it out, right? And again, if you have a 1% loan or 4% loan, it doesn't matter, right? It's not it's the interest is not material. It's a balloon payment. It doesn't matter at all, right? It's not gonna make an impact to your financial freedom.
Awesome, cool. Thanks so much.
Yep. Thanks for coming up, Nathan. Next is I'm going to butcher this. Altan GRL. Angie Dobovich. I don't know how to say your name. If you're trying to speak, unmute yourself.
Oh, hello.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
Sorry about that. Yeah. So, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, hi everyone. So so I've been with the Celsius a little while, and I have a just quick question. So, how's the self insurance going? Because I opted in a while ago, and I live in the U.S.
Again, I'm still working on it. Launching on ramps. So again, you'll be able to from your bank direct money at Celsius and have it appear as stable coins right in your account. And the third service is earn and sell for US, right? All three will be scaling and live in December, available to most people, one other. And then again, next year we'll be launching credit card and insurance and all these other things that we talked about.
Okay, so like is my account currently like FDIC insured?
None of our services are FDIC insured, and no one else is FDIC insured. If anyone tells you they're FDIC insured, they're just lying to you.
Yeah, I'm just curious because I was told by somebody else, like
Well, then they're lying to you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Good luck.
Questions? Angie, did that conclude your questions? Oh, there we go.
It's it's an issue for us now. I'm not sure if I heard Alex correctly. Did he say something about being able to earn and sell potentially coming to the U.S. in December?
That's available for U.S. accredited. If you're an accredited investor,
Yes. Okay, so okay, I see what's going on. That being said, why is it that and I don't want to I love Celsius. Most of my stuff is on Celsius, and I really dislike. I do not like Voyager. I don't want to. If people like Voyager, I don't want to talk bad on them. Crypto.com is another thing too. They each have their own tokens, and they have a form of reward. So I just don't understand how there can be a Voyager token with different levels, and you can earn more if you have their token. It seems very similar to Cell. How are they able to do it? But Celsius, they're giving you guys a hard time. I just don't understand that. If I don't know if you've gotten that question before, but yeah,
it's a good question. Look, it's a very good question, right? So Celsius is more conservative. We take much more care of making sure that we don't step on any laws or don't poke regulators in the eye. And other companies are taking much more risky steps, and then they get in trouble, right? So, that's because they crossed the line too many times, right? So you can't be poking the bear and then cross, So that's all I can tell you right now, and you'll see that, right? So, you know,
yeah. Thank you for taking my question. And just today, with the news that eToro is delisting ADA, it just doesn't make any sense to me when it's obviously on other exchanges. So it's just very confusing. Being relatively new, seeing things like that happen immediately, we think, oh man, is Celsius not going to be able to hold my ADA anymore? Do I need to pull you see what I'm saying? So it's just a very confusing time right now. I know that there's a lot of just uncertainty with regulation, and we're kind of all just waiting in limbo until they figure out, I guess these laws need to pass or something. But yeah, so I just want to say in closing,
so
thank you.
again, look, I hear your concern, but you have to understand the government is not trying to confiscate your asset, right? Anyone who tells you that the government is trying to catch you making a mistake and then take away your assets doesn't know what they're talking about. Okay, we have a constitution, we have the Fourth Amendment, and they cannot confiscate your assets without due process. They have to go to court, they have to go to a judge and convince a judge that you did something criminally wrong, right? You staking your
them to get on. Is there any time frame or any work that's in the process that will allow New York residents to get into Celsius? Because I'm tired of telling my buddies to stop staking their coins and their tokens other places, or not staking them at all, and I try to put them on with Celsius, and they can't get in. So any word on that, any information on that, much appreciated. And thank you guys again for the service that you guys provide. It's awesome, and I love staking with you guys.
2 weeks. Everything, 2 weeks. No, just kidding. The Q1 of next year, we should reopen New York, okay? New York State. All right, so we have a plan, we have a program, just got to get it across the finish line.
Is it still going to be 4 coins, or are New York State residents going to have access to all coins?
It's a tough question. In theory, if everything goes the way we plan, we will have all of our available coins available in New York, in theory. But, we have to get there. So more than the 4 coins.
Awesome. Sofa King, did that conclude your questions?
Yes, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a great night.
No problem. Thanks for joining us up here. Min Kim, you're up next.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Celsius team. It's really good to be actually yielding on the actual assets and also borrow the ridiculously low fees. Oh, not fees. The loan percentage. I just had questions on Cell token utility. I know the Cell tokens, about 60,000 tokens are being burnt every week based on how much Cell is earned. Is there any roadmap in change of this so that it's more related to the actual crypto market, such as burning on all the yield earned rather than just earning on Cell? And the second one is, I hear this so many times in these meetings where people ask to DCA pay back their loans. Is there a way that we can, when we first make the loan, let's just say 100,000, can you add a function so that it gets divided into, let's just say 20 batches, so that multiple loans are all made in one go rather than checking boxes every single time? Those are my questions, and thank you very much, Alex, and the Celsius team.
Yeah, so we don't have, like dividing it into multiple loans or anything like that. At least not anytime soon, right? So right now we're just scaling the lending business. We've added, we doubled that team again. We basically process all the loans every day. So I think Celsius is the only company that can do that today, basically process all your applications instantly. Also, as you know, we launched a call center, so you can call and ask any question you want, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., 5 days a week. You can actually talk to a person. And also, you can book an appointment and talk to a loan specialist if you have specific loan related issues. The link is on the website. If you go to the loan section, scroll down, you'll see a link there to book your appointment. So again, I think those are for me, the important features that we're adding, right? It's more the comfort of being able to manage your outstanding credit. Again, if you're paying 1%, there's no benefit of paying the loan. You want to pay it down, just pay it down. Just send money back and apply it to the loan. It's not they will just automatically refinance the loan for you. They'll just say, okay, it's not a $10,000 loan, it's a $7,000 loan. That's what it does automatically when you send money in, or you apply your stable coins, anything like that. So, what was the first question again?
Cell burn that is more following the entire crypto market. So maybe burning based on the entire assets being earned, so including earning BTC, earning ETH, rather than just earning sell 10% of it being burned?
So we're incentivizing the community to switch to earn and sell. The more the community switches to earn and sell, the more we burn. Right. So again, it's we see it as a utility, not as a you understand. If I burn based on my earning in Bitcoin, then I'm incentivizing earning in Bitcoin instead of earning in sell. Right. So I think what we want to do is add more and more sell utility. So this is an additional sell utility. So earning sell now is the highest in Bitcoin or in any other coin, right? So there's a big benefit, and we're going to start marketing heavy on the sell token to convince people that we have the best program. Again, most people don't understand. I keep saying it, and people just don't know math. But when you get Cardano tokens or Polygon tokens, coins, or any project, doesn't matter which project, these are coins that are released out of Treasury, meaning every payment is an increase in circulation. Every week, every month, every time there's a payment from any of these companies, doesn't matter if it's Polkadot or if it's Solana or if it's any of these names that you guys are all excited about, or Crypto.com. These are not being bought out of the market. These are added into circulation. So if it's added into circulation, you get diluted by exactly the amount of coins being added. Net, you did not gain anything. You understand? Because new coins have been added into circulation representing exactly the amount that you think you got paid in new coins. You and everybody else, right? Celsius is the only company that doesn't do it that way. Celsius buys these coins from the market. Do you know anyone else who's buying their coins out of the market? Anyone, right? There's 350 people on this call. Do you know any project that buys their coins out of the market every week?
FTT token does, but they also inflate the token at the same time.
Yes, that's my point. My point is capped supply, buy off the market, burn the token. Who does that? Anyone?
I haven't been able to find anyone, and I've definitely looked at a lot of burn models.
Exactly. So that's what people don't understand. And that's fine. We're not in a hurry. By the time they understand it, Cell Token will be at $15. Okay? So, limited supply, just like Bitcoin is limited supply, it's limited supply when it reaches 21 million. We're already at limited supply since 2017. Celsius has never added one token into the market in its 4-year history. Okay, all we need is more cell users. That's all we need. And now we're going to crank it up. Again, you have any agency, you have somebody in the Philippines, you have somebody in Nigeria, you have somebody in South Africa, you have somebody in Turkmenistan, I don't care where. You send them to us, we will run a campaign with them. Okay, if they're in crypto and they have access to local community, we'll spend some money and promote Celsius and all of its benefits. Okay, that's what we're going to start doing, which we haven't done in a very long time. And on top of it, we'll continue every week to buy more and more and more cell, burn more and more and more cell until everybody notices.
Thank you, Alex.
Man, Kim. Yep. Did that conclude your questions there?
Yes, thank you very much.
Great. We're starting to get quite a build-up in the request, guys. If you guys could just make it concise, maybe down to one question, and then if you get another question, just hop back in the request and come back up. Next up is Pete. What's going on, Pete?
Good evening, everybody. Hello, community. Hi, Alex. Question on Bitcoin yield. I noticed a recent change. 1 Bitcoin down to a quarter Bitcoin now for the max yield. And I was just curious, Alex, if if it's just due to low demand for yield on Bitcoin in the marketplace for your yield managers, or if it's because we're Bitcoin rich based on the mining operation, or just looking for some background information on a drop down to a quarter coin. Thank you.
Yeah. So right now there's a lot of demand for stable coins and not so much demand for Bitcoin, right? So rates on stable coins are up, rates on Bitcoin are down. It's that simple, right? If we still need $2 billion worth of stable coins just to satisfy demand. So that's why we keep pushing our campaigns and giving you guys more and more rewards to try to get more and more stable coins in. We're getting about 50 million a week right now in stable coins. So we're going to be running this campaign until we fill up the amount that we need, or the markets change.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And Alex, the Bitcoin mining investment for one of the revenue stools of the company, the three main miners that the company has an equity stake in right now, was the additional 300 million more equity in those companies, or actual brick and mortar operations that Celsius is going to own?
Yeah, so none of the additional 300 was investment in other companies. It's all equipment and facilities for us to mine directly.
Excellent. Thank you for your time. Good evening, everybody.
Yep, thanks for coming up, Pete. HP.
What's going on, fellas? I'll make it quick. So, I enjoy all the CeFi stuff that you guys are doing. Now I see that you're doing the Celsius X, and I love DeFi. I love using Binance Smart Chain. I love using all those other good stuff. So I had a question in the sense of, what type of stuff are you looking, if you could express that, looking to bring? One of the things that I've seen was they have this company called Meld coming out, and they're going to be able basically to give out loans without with you still earning interest on your loan. Is that something now with the whole DeFi experience you're thinking of also doing? Or maybe you could express maybe other things that you're going to do, because I know the competition gets real here, but I know you guys like doing things the right way. So I just kind of wanted to see if that was something in your approach of doing.
Yeah, so anyone who's offering you to eat the cake and have it too, you should ask yourself, how is that possible, right?
Well, I was going to ask you that also. Like, how is that possible? Like, honestly, like, let's not be negative, but how is one, because you seem like a smart guy. Well, you are a smart guy, but how is one able to do that?
Well, obviously they're not doing what they're telling you, right? So you can't both eat the cake and have it at the same time, right? So you either lending and you're earning interest, or you're borrowing and you're paying interest. If you're doing both at the same time, then one of them is just not real, right? And, again, a lot of these people, you saw me post stuff, right? Like about how many projects and how many things are just really rug pulls or scams or whatever, right? I don't know specifically about this project, but even people that did everything right? I mean, you saw the article about how most of the people in DeFi lost more money to permanent loss than the interest that they earned. And they just didn't understand what happened. They have less coins today than they had before they got into DeFi. And they just don't understand that, right? They think they're making all this money, but they don't understand impermanent loss. So all that stuff is stuff that, and they pay the gas fee, and they pay the commissions, and they pay the withdrawal fees, and they press the 200 buttons every day on the computer, and they think they're doing great. Okay, so most people, even the savvy ones, the ones that think they're pros, you have to measure it in coins. Because if you put 10 ETH and you put whatever the equivalent is in whatever, in Polygon or Cell Token or whatever else, and the impermanent lost ate your ETH, and ETH went up to 4,400, guess what? You lost money. So all these services are good if you really know what you're doing. And very, very few people know what they're doing. Right? According to the math, according to all these articles, it's not like I wrote these articles. This is all professionals doing surveys, calculating all the math, looking at all the contracts and all the wallets that people have used, doing big data analytics, coming back and telling you, okay, most people lose money, over 100 rug pulls, scams, and what do you call it? So you have to ask yourself, do you have the skills to figure out if the next project is real, or is it a scam, or is it a rug pull, or is it a problem?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, sorry to take. This is an important thing for me because I'm pretty savvy with the Pancake Swap and on all that. I agree with you because Pancake Swap does the same thing, but then they add stuff to circulation. But my last thing. So what is Celsius X trying to bring different to the game so that probably that takes the attention off of that stuff? Like, what are you guys looking to bring into that since you guys are we're a CeFi platform and now you're going to the DeFi platform? And I'm asking this more so because there's a lot of DeFi people that I know that, like Celsius and all that stuff, but we like the nice APYs, we like all those type of stuff. So since I saw that, I just wanted to pick your brain if you're able to say that. I know this is new, so I don't know how much information you're able to expose.
Well, we're just gonna X everybody else, Not just kidding. Just you guys not. I guess everybody's muted, so they're not laughing at the jokes. But the Celsius X.
I am. I got you.
Right, Celsius X is think about it like, I'm thinking of what a good analogy. Let's say everybody still have inflatable tubes in their tires, and we come up with pneumatic, tires, right, for the first time. And everybody says, no, that's not possible. You got to have inflatable tubes in your tires. That's the only way to do this stuff. You have them in your bicycle, you need them in your car. You understand? So what we're saying is that we can provide liquidity, just like we charge exchanges and institutions in the real world, in CeFi, we'll be able to charge anyone for liquidity without doing it to smart contracts, without using tubes. Okay? Magically stuff will just appear on 16 different blockchains because Celsius does stuff that no one else can do. And we have more liquidity than anyone else. Right? So we are king makers. We decide who's going to be king. We already made many, many kings and queens. So we're going to be launching a bunch of new kings by providing them liquidity, deciding who is the chain or which project or what implementation is getting liquidity, and everybody's going to run over there because that's where the yield is going to be, wherever we put the liquidity. That's Celsius X.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming up, HP. Long time. Next up is Ro.
Hey guys, just a quick one for me. This may have been asked earlier, but I just wanted to see if you had a community update on the equity raise that you guys were thinking about doing through Bank to the Future for the second round. Apologies if this was asked earlier.
Yeah, so we'll be making an announcement on December 3rd about that and opening it up to the community. So just be patient for another week.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Thanks for coming up, bro. Blue Rock, you're up next.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everyone. I wanted to know, because the Celsius thing is a global movement, and what it does for people, it's a service that is it's better service than the traditional that has been. Where do you see the future of Celsius in next 5-10 years? Of course, that depends to the laws, to the regions. But I like to, let's say Celsius, people, Celsians do a good job. And how big do you see Celsius to be in those years?
So our goal was 100 million people. That's our goal. I think obviously it's going to accelerate faster and faster and faster because the bigger your community, the more referrals you get, the more people are onboarded, the bigger the company, the more credible it is, the more cash it has, the more it's earning. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And again, all of our competitors are not trying to build a community. They're just trying to advertise the heck out of themselves, putting their names on stadiums, hire every, a celebrity, right? Buying the UFC teams, you name it, right? Just spending money like crazy. Now, again, ask yourself, where is that money coming from? Where is the money that, for example, Crypto.com is spending? Where is it coming from?
That's coming from the commissions of its users.
Exactly. So they charge you fees. They charge you for a trade. They charge you to withdraw. They charge you when you move stuff around, right? Even when they tell you no fee, there's a spread, right? They make money on everything you do. The only thing they lose money on is if you actually find, it's very hard to find, but if you manage to find where is the yield product and you stick to it, then maybe they lose some money. But everything else, they make money on you. So they collect money from the community, right? They squeeze money from the community, just like the banks. And they put their name on the stadium, just like the banks put their names on the biggest buildings downtown. Exactly the same thing. Now, Celsius does exactly the opposite. We charge the banks and the institutions and all the big names. We charge them fees, not the community. We charge the big guys fees. And we take all that money and we give it to the community. Right? And people insist. Millions of people say, nope, I'd much rather work with a guy who charges me fees because their name is on the stadium. If their name is on the stadium, they must be really good and famous. They're amazing. Look at them. They hired a celebrity. They hired Tom Brady. How can you say no to Tom Brady? Of course I want to pay my fees to these exchanges and to these, wallets and everybody else. Let me pay the fees. Right?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And this seems to be the way I look at it. Like the society we live in is like, yeah, people blindly look at for those big names, et cetera, et cetera. But now it seems it is tough for like Celsius, the way it is moving, because, it depends to the community. It depends to the people to what extent they are reaching to everybody else and then educating them.
Let's talk about that, right? So Crypto.com puts their name on the stadium. Their token is up 300%. Now they're dumping on their community, right? You can see they're selling like crazy, right? Billions of dollars selling of their token. But what they're doing is they're bringing a lot of new people into crypto, right? A lot of people that Celsius will never reach. And those people use Crypto.com, they use Coinbase, they use FTX, right? And then slowly they become smarter and smarter and smarter, and you can't fool all the people all the time. Sooner or later, all these people are going to start asking questions. Why do I have this fee? Why do I have this fee? Is there anyone that doesn't charge fee? Is there anyone that pays real interest? Where can I take a cheap loan, not paying 12% or whatever, right? And sooner or later, all these people are going to find Celsius. They pay about $800 to bring in new customers. That's what it costs Coinbase or Crypto.com or all these other guys. We pay $50, a referral fee, right? So we love this. We love being able to pay $50, have the other guys pay $800. They spend all the big money to convince people to come into crypto, and we spend $50 to convince them to quit, Crypto.com and Coinbase and come to Celsius.
Yeah, no, I do agree. It makes sense because it takes some time for general people to get educated. It is like, you pass through all these other exchanges. It is like, yeah, that explains the volatility. But let's say, in order to reach to a university studies, you need to go through those, primary school, high school, etc. So it makes sense. Like I'm not against any exchanges or etc. But my question is like, what is the current focus of the Celsius? Are you guys focusing in North America, in Europe? And the reason I'm asking this question is because I don't know, Africa or other Asian countries like Central Asia, they are speaking like different languages. Are they like considered like important population to be part of Celsius, or is it the focus is just on like North America or European countries?
Our focus is to pay the most yield possible. Okay, so right now, most of our content is in English, and people that speak English, it doesn't mean they live in the United States. It just means they speak English. So you might be in Nigeria, but you speak English. You can read, understand, and decide, okay, I'm sending my coins to Celsius, or I'm not sending my coins to Celsius. So we're not yet ready to promote in other languages. We just don't have the support for it. So right now, it's not country-based. It's based on who speak what language. You understand? So we have customers in 200 countries. All those customers are pretty good at English.
Yeah, thank you so much for providing this information. But the main question is like, if we were to educate people, regardless of what language they speak, right? How would Celsius go about that?
Well, again, right now that's not our job. Okay, we're not going to spend $700 million to put our name on the stadium. Okay, and try to educate everybody about what is crypto. That's just not our job right now.
Yeah, no, thank you. That makes sense. No, even if they put the crypto.com in the UFC, I'm not sure to what extent people watch that globally. Like, but I understand. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for coming up, Blue Rock, and dropping your questions. Appreciate that. Next up is Kathy. Or Kathy, are you there? If you're trying to speak, make sure you're unmuted. All right, gonna move on to Jason.
Good evening, Alex. Just a simple question. I received email from BlockFi, and I'm from New Jersey, and their order got pushed back to February for the cease and desist. Do you see that for Celsius being pushed back?
Yeah, we don't have any deadlines right now with New Jersey, or
cool.
We don't have any deadlines anytime soon. Let's put it that way.
I love that. Thank you, Alex. You love that poll. We came out on that. Who pays the best yield?
Yep. Look, the community came through, and what's the name? The moon is mostly traders, right? That's not hodlers. So that was not an easy one for us to win, because most of the people that follow him, he's got 700,000 followers. Most of his followers are hustlers who trade every day, right? So, if that survey was done with the hodler community, we would be probably 80% of the votes.
It felt good just to see that win.
Yeah, last minute we just passed everybody in the last second. So that was nice.
Jason, did that conclude your question?
Oh, good. Thank you.
Thanks for coming up, Jason. Next up is Andrea Chu.
Hey Josh, thanks Alex for doing this. This is Andre from Malaysia. It's a pleasure to to ask a question. It's kind of hard to get through the AMA in Malaysia because every single AMA is probably about 2 to 3 in the morning here in Asia. But I love what Celsius and what Alex is doing. I've been following and been in the space for quite a bit. We've been educating our communities here for crypto as well as for Celsius and yield and all. I've heard Alex mentioning that there will be a launch about the swap and credit cards happening in the States probably next year. My question is, would that be applicable for international people like us in Asia as well with the credit card and sell swap?
Yes, the swap is already live. We're adding people every week. And like I said, next week we'll be opening one European country and then slowly opening additional countries. So credit card is early next year, but yes, all these things are coming. And again, we're like Apple. We don't have to be the first ones out, but we hope to have the best product, right? And have the best community. So same methodology.
Right. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Josh. Thanks for the whole entire team because we truly need this system, this financial system away from the centralized entity. And what you guys are bringing is truly of value. And we're looking forward to everything that Celsius and the team is doing. Appreciate it.
Sure. And it's okay to sleep and watch the AMA in the morning. You don't have to watch in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that's what the team is doing, and we love your answer. When I think there was one AMA when someone is asking what's your take on the 700 million for 20 years, and you say that you rather put 700 millions back to the community. That is spot on. That's why we love Celsius here, and we're looking forward to utilizing all the products that Celsius is about to embark, because we believe that when it comes to crypto, out of 12,000 projects, 95% is going to falter, but those that has real sound use cases will actually thrive. And we truly believe Celsius is going to be one of them. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And so just one comment on crypto.com. They make you lock your coins for, I think, 90 days or 180 days. According to the IRS, that is a step up in your base, meaning that is a contract, basically, because it's a contract, it's whatever you bought your Bitcoin at or your Ethereum at or whatever you're putting into that contract, your cost basis when the contract expires is the price at that time. And you will owe the taxes between the difference between what you bought it at and what the price is at the end of that contract, meaning they might pay you a little bit of interest, but your tax, the amount of money you're losing on your taxes is 100 times more than whatever interest you thought you earned in 90 days. Okay, so all of you have to be, obviously if you just bought the Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. If you just bought the Ethereum, it doesn't matter. But if you had it for a while, that represents a tremendous cost basis. One of the main reasons Celsius is only doing 1 week worth of yield at a time is because we want to make sure that we don't trip this contract situation with the IRS. And obviously some of the other people either don't understand it or don't care that you will have a tax liability. So just be very super careful about that.
Yeah, that's something I wasn't aware of at all, that if that's the case, and again, find out from your tax professional, but if you're using a service like crypto.com, locking your coins up for 90 days, you've effectively triggered a taxable event that's going to bite you in the butt, and especially if you weren't aware of it.
I mean, they want you to lock up because they don't want you to sell the CRO or sell the whatever other coin they have, right? And again, this is the same situation with BlockFi and Voyager and Nexo. They all have these lockups, right? And most people don't understand that because Again, Nexo doesn't have to tell you about that. Crypto.com doesn't have to tell you about what are your tax implications. That's on you. They just tell you how much interest you're earning, and at the end of the year or next year, whenever you talk to your accountant, they'll be like, "Wait a second, well, why did you do this transaction?" You have to pay taxes on your coins. You're gonna be thinking twice about doing these transactions.
Hey Alex, just one last question. Would you and your team be planning on any meetups in Asia sometimes next year or so? Is Asia part of your radar as well in terms of community adoption and meetups?
Yeah, so we have offices or people in Hong Kong and Sydney and a few other places. So again, I might not be there personally, but it doesn't mean we cannot throw a meetup and have people, or maybe me calling in at 3:00 in the morning instead of you waking up at 3:00 in the morning to hang out with you guys. So, we want to, again, Scott, who's on this call, is organizing all the ambassadors, and we're happy to. We did this before, right? To pay for the space and the pizza and or whatever your favorite food is, and and organize a meetup in this or that country.
All right. Thanks, Alex.
Sure.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, thanks for coming up, Andre, and spending the time with us, given your time zone. Appreciate it. Next up is Naomi. Naomi, are you there? All right, next up is Your Daily Blockchain.
Hey, cheers, everyone. My name is Thomas. Hey, Alex and team, thank you for the AMA, and definitely thank you for the Las Vegas event last Friday. Had a great time. It was really awesome. Hey, here's my question. So the no-fee model is a no-brainer for customers, right? I totally get that. But is there a win-win way to split the difference, right? So maybe we do a low-fee model with also a rev share back to Cell token holders. So we still get low fees as a user, plus a rev share model for Cell token holders to drive up Cell demand.
Well, so we're already doing that in effect, right? I mean, Cell itself does not earn enough to pay the 5% or to do the burn or anything else. So we're effectively taking some earnings from other categories and paying it to Cell token holders. So it's already happening.
Okay, so you do that through yield then. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Great, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
Yep.
Yep, thanks for coming up. David, you're up next.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call. I appreciate you guys putting the work in all hours of the night. My question was more so about loans and leverage. I know you don't want to be in a position of giving financial advice, but is it possible, whether it's with the Celsius exchange or with a different exchange, just grabbing loans at, let's, for example, a Bitcoin loan at that 1%, and then just staking the US dollars at that 10%, if we wanted to do it that way, or would that be looked upon not so kindly?
No, there's no problem earning on your dollars if you borrow them. The problem is if you take those dollars and use them to buy more Bitcoin. That's considered a leverage trade, and we prefer not to do that. We don't want our customers to be on leverage, but earning yield on your stable coins is not a problem.
Right, and loaning it against Bitcoin, you're saying that's better than doing it the other way around.
Well, I don't think you're going to come ahead. You have to do the math, because if you're taking a loan at 1%, you have $4 worth of Bitcoin for every $1 that you're getting of stablecoin. So even if you're earning 10%, it's 10% versus 4 times whatever the rate is on your Bitcoin, right? So it's not, you're not really coming ahead.
Okay, Yep, that's what I figured out, and that makes more sense. I just wanted to confirm that. And yeah, and then the other question is
no free lunch. You can't have the cake and eat it too.
Yep, and I know you mentioned that earlier, so that makes sense. The other question, kind of just a fun one. What made you want to name it Celsius? And was there ever any issues, or do you foresee any issues with the, I don't know if it's an energy drink or just a drink you see at the store here in the United States, but anything with Celsius to drink, and what made you want to go with Celsius?
Yeah, so we actually friends with the guys that make that drink. Again, they're in a different class, so there's no conflict on the brand or anything like that. We actually, in many of the events, we used to give these drinks for free, like just you give Celsius drinks for free. The name came from an intern who had a better name than me or Daniel, so we just decided to go with his name, so it wasn't, there's no deep thoughts or some kind of long history there.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate you and your team.
Thanks for coming up, David. Sock Nug, what's going on?
How's it going, everyone? Wrapping up the last bits of what I need to do to submit to Chainlink Hackathon right now, but just wanted to catch you, Alex, and ask you what your opinion on how is the Celsius X feeless bridge going to help the onboard the next 1 million users into crypto, in your opinion?
You talking about Celsius X?
Yeah, the feeless bridge featuring CCIP, yeah.
Yeah, so today Celsius is very good solution for people that just want to save and hodl, right? But people in DeFi, Celsius is not really a very attractive proposition, right? They don't see Celsius as sufficiently decentralized or as something that is kind of active or lives inside the DeFi community. Even though we're one of the largest users of DeFi, right, for yield purposes, we're not really an active participants from a user standpoint, right? I don't know how many DeFi players are using Celsius. So by offering Celsius X, we kind of enable any DeFi user to have stuff that they can't do anywhere else, right? And have access to yield and other services, wrapping services that they couldn't get anywhere else. So it definitely helps grow the community because, we suddenly become available or relevant to hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of DeFi users who currently are not thinking of Celsius as they love trading every day or pressing the button every day, right? They can't just hodl and put the coins in and forget, right? So the experience is a DeFi experience. The way you hold your coins is a DeFi experience. Everything is much more DeFi, and which is fine, which is good for some people who think they can. It's like you go to the casino and you think you're going to beat the house. How many people actually beat the house, in the casino?
I did.
Very few. That's my point. But a lot of people try, right? For everyone that succeeds, there is, the casinos wouldn't have some of the nicest hotels in the world if they were losing money every week, right?
So, from my understanding now, with you guys making this bridge, you guys want to build products that you want to use, obviously, and you don't want to get hit on bridging your bridging tokens anytime. Now, is your incentive more just to kind of to build your own products on DeFi that are like enabled for Celsius users by this bridge?
It's not for Celsius users.
Integrations with existing.
It's not for Celsius users. So today, most of what's happening on DeFi is everybody's forking somebody else's project, right?
Right.
SushiSwap, stealing liquidity from Uniswap, right? Not one line of code, not one new line of code. Okay? Again and again and again, another fork and another fork and another fork. Where's the innovation, right? So Celsius X is like nothing else. It's not a fork of anything. You understand? It's something completely new. It's like magic, right?
So you're definitely focused on innovation in the DeFi space with Celsius X, not just kind of integrating with existing. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So all these people are copying somebody else, launching their own token, hoping that you're gonna trust them and give them some liquidity because they're showering you with tokens. That doesn't do anything for the community. It doesn't add anything. It doesn't add any value. Okay? All it does, it basically fragments liquidity, which makes DeFi less efficient, not more efficient.
Makes sense. Thank you for your insightful answer. Appreciate it. Hope to have a good enough DeFi product to serve some value to Celsius using Celsius X one day.
You'll like it, believe me.
I know it. Cheers.
Thanks for coming up, Socknug. Next up is Nate.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the question. I hope to ask Alex specifically, or Zach, if you can comment as well. Is there anything you guys can share on the Cell tokenomics update from the community ideas? Are those ideas still being hashed over, or what could you share with us tonight?
Yeah, so we're definitely going through them. I think there was like 480 of them. So again, we're prioritizing them based on what's easy to implement, not what are the best ideas, and trying to put to work things that we can do quickly that will have an immediate impact. So, for example, on Friday, we're launching campaigns that are just focusing earning and sell, which we haven't done in a while. And like I said, we're going to launch marketing in many different countries. We're just looking to partner with the right entities. So either publications or websites or influencers or, whatever it is in each country, and promote Cell Token as all the things I was talking about here. For example, limited supply, right? Burn, buybacks. Trying to explain to people the difference between Celsius and everybody else. Because even expert, like I heard James from Invest Answers, who I respect a lot, talk about Cell Token, and he just assumed that we're like everybody else, that we're just releasing tokens from... He didn't even check, because everybody does it that way. So everybody assumes that Celsius must be doing it the same way. Now, all of our smart contracts are listed right on our website. Any one of you can click on it and immediately check it on Etherscan if we've ever withdrawn any tokens or used them for any of the airdrops or interest payments or anything else. Okay? It takes 2 seconds to check that. You understand? So just because everybody else does it that way doesn't mean Celsius is doing it the same way. And we just need to educate people about how different this project is, because it is not in the best interest of the community for me to release tokens from this treasury. It's much easier. It's much better for the company, but it's not the best thing for the community. And that's what people need to really understand. And then they'll appreciate every token, every Cell tokens they own.
No, the fundamentals are there, Alex. I know that. I appreciate y'all taking the long-term approach, and I do agree that it's in the best interest of the community. Thank you guys for answering the question.
Yeah, thank you for coming up, Nate. Next up is Javi. What's going on, Javi?
Hi, this is actually Javi's wife, Marisa, and I just had a comment that we were in Vegas celebrating with Celsius, and I was just so grateful to be part of that community and have that experience. My husband was the one with the polo that had HODL from Chrissy's shop. And I just, watching you up on the bar, Alex, give the AMA made me so proud, to be part of this. And I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, it was a great event. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. And Scott, I'm sorry I wasn't able to make it to breakfast. I was really enjoying myself at the party. So It was a rough night.
No worries. You were there in
Thank you.
spirit.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Now you made everybody jealous. Everybody who wasn't there.
Yeah. Again, just to say what she said, I appreciate Alex meeting you. It was great to meet you in person, and loved watching you work the room and all that, and enjoyed the party myself. And it was great just meeting all the Celsius and Zach and Otis and everyone there, Scott in person. So thanks again for holding it and for everything you do. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming up, Javi and Javi's wife. Next up is Bitcoin Bros.
Hey guys, thanks for having me up. It's Aaron here. Just a quick question. Has there been any update on the Celsius insurance or any details on how the insurance is going to work in the future?
Yeah, so we have a few options. We haven't finalized it yet, so nothing this year. It's going to be a next year thing, but it's coming. Still working on it.
Okay, thanks for that. And just had another question. I saw the interview with Peter Schiff. Alex, you think he owns any Bitcoin?
His son owns Bitcoin, but he's a Goldosaur. Goldosaurs don't do Bitcoin.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Thanks for coming up. Next up is Jason.
Hey, Alex, thanks for everything. I've been at Celsius for maybe 9 months. When I started as a hodler, I was earning 3.5 on Bitcoin, and it's now 3. And again, thank you for all you do. I know Celsius is the leader in yield, but obviously the direction of the yield has dropped. And I was just curious what you thought of that direction of yield on Bitcoin for hodlers. And do you think we see a 2 handle on that? Or is it a function of, Bitcoin's the same level now as when I started with you? So just curious your thoughts.
Well, again, we only make predictions 1 week at a time. It's not like I know where it's going to be next year or whatever, right? So if the demand comes back, you have to think about it this way. Usually the rate of Bitcoin is high when Bitcoin is actually going down, right? So it's kind of like it helps you hodl because at least you're earning 6-7% while Bitcoin is hurting and is going down, right? Versus Bitcoin is going up and you're earning less and less and less, but it's going up a lot, right? So it's a self-correcting mechanism. Same thing with stable coins, right? So stable coins usually are high when Bitcoin's going up, so you're earning more in your dollars, and it's low when Bitcoin's going down. So it's not about kind of looking at it's good or it's bad. It's kind of having a basket of multiple assets and benefiting from these oscillations both ways without taking any additional risk, right? So again, earning 10% on your dollars is a godsend, right? I don't know how long that's going to last, but for most of us, right, that can't earn anything on our dollars, that's like, a giveaway.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. And just one other comment, and this will be my last thing, but I was talking to someone on Saturday and told him about Celsius, and he said, well, crypto.com, has probably better yields. And I said, no way. And, of course they have this term property where you lock it up for months. And I know you guys were talking about it a minute ago, but it's interesting how I think we're being perceived as, in some cases, lower than other players, but the terms are different. So anyway, that's all I have. Thank you.
Well, we're gonna show it all side by side, since all these guys are so good at hidden fees. Remember, they charge you for withdrawal, they charge you for transactions, they charge you for everything, right? So until you make it out there, you already paid the fees, one way or another. You either use their exchange or you use something else. So they just make all their fees somewhere else, right? And they pretend like, okay, I'll pay you 14%. It's not really 14%, right? You have to buy, I think, $4,000 worth of CRO to make the 14%. You have to hold a certain amount of CRO, right? So it's not apples to apples. You don't have to own any Cell token to earn that yield in Celsius, right? And if you earn in Cell, it's 12.67%, almost 14, right? Without the lockup, without the change in your cost basis. So you put all that together, Celsius still comes way ahead.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks for coming up, Jason. Better, you're up next.
Hey, thank you so much, Alex. I'm new to Celsius. My question is, if I'm moving coins from Coinbase to Celsius, does it incur a taxable event?
Transfers are not taxable events. Only when you buy and sell are taxable events.
Okay, and the same thing when I'm moving coins from Celsius to Coinbase.
Right. Any transfer, doesn't matter which direction, is not a taxable event.
Is not a taxable event. Okay, and do you have, means, of course you must have plans, right? Is there any update where we can see what are the new coins which are going to come up on Celsius?
Yeah, so we're reworking that. That's why we removed the pending list. And we'll be adding many new coins and tokens soon. So again, we're reworking that part of the program.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Thank you, Josh.
Yep. Thanks for coming up, Better. Next up is Jimmy. Jimmy, you there?
Hey, Alex, Josh, can you guys hear me clearly?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Jimmy, we can hear you.
Can you hear me, Josh?
Yep.
Hey, Josh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Josh. Okay. I just wanted to ask a question around the accredited investor for the U.S. coming up soon. I know that I want to see if Celsius can make this clear before it's rolled out. I heard the other day about if you make a $5,000 OTC purchase, you'll be eligible to earn and sell. Or if you had made a prior OTC purchase, I just want to see if that can be cleared up, because I made OTC purchases last November and December of 2020. And just a few months ago, I'm in Florida and I tried to do an OTC purchase, and I guess compliance said some things had changed with Florida. And at that time, I was not allowed to. So I don't know if that's going to affect my ability to earn and sell going forward. And if it does because of compliance issues, I understand that it is what it is. But I just want to see if Celsius can get ahead of this and just make it clear to everybody exactly what the parameters are, or if you're going to need to be reaccredited some way, shape, or form by that iVerify or whatever to be able to earn and sell. Because it sounds like there might be some confusion coming up as far as what really you need to do to be able to earn and sell going forward for the accredited investors in the U.S. That's my question.
Yeah. So if you've done a transaction either in the last 6 months or 12 months, again, depending on your type of accreditation, you're good, right? You don't need anything else. Even if you try it again, and it doesn't matter. Like the accreditation for earning and sell is not related to you buying or not buying Cell token. Okay, so it's just a different issue. It's about you being able to hold securities in your Celsius account. Okay, so if you haven't done one of these transactions, and you're accredited, right? If you're not accredited, don't even try it, because you're wasting your time. If you're accredited, you can do a transaction anytime between now and our launch, and that will serve as your accreditation, right? So just, again, email otc@celsius.network and try to get a transaction done with them. If you don't plan to do any of these things, you don't need to do any of these things. You just wait for us to launch the program. We're going to have an accreditation process. You upload certain documents. The minute you get approved, you can go to your profile and change to earn and sell on any of the assets that are listed there. There are some restrictions. We'll be publishing those, but in general, you will be able to earn and sell.
Jimmy, did you catch all that? Jimmy seems to be having.
I caught most of it, so I caught most of it, so I got the gist of it. Which that's great to know. I was just worried about that being an issue, so that's good to hear. The other question that maybe somebody can address going forward is, I'm going to ask it another day. I don't want to sidetrack the conversation. Thanks for the feedback, Alex. I'll let someone else jump in here.
Great. Thanks for coming up, Jimmy. Next up is Celsian Love.
Hi, Josh. Hi, Alex. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man.
Great. So, Alex, I just wanted to ask you a quick question about this news I've been seeing out of Israel regarding Mashi Hogeg. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it looks like your CFO worked for him for a number of years, and people are saying that he might have been arrested along with Moshe and some of his other conspirators. Do you mind telling us about that?
I don't know much about it, so I don't know what's happening there.
Well, so I guess my question is, it looks like this, your CFO, it looks like you guys have been together for a little while, but like all of his experience before Celsius Network looks like it was with this guy's companies. So, I mean, you must have some familiarity with it considering you hired him. I just want to make sure that, this doesn't pose a threat to the community or anything.
Well, I don't see any connection, but if you think there is, you can, if you want to send me something about it, I'm happy to take a look at it.
Okay, so you're denying any knowledge or anything about this case or where your CFO is right now?
The guy you're talking about, there's nothing to do with Celsius, okay? So
Yoram Sholem has nothing to do with Celsius Network?
The guy you talked about, this Hogeg guy, has nothing to do with Celsius.
Right, but your CFO worked for him for like several years before Celsius. It looks like it's basically all of his experience. It just seems like, something that at the very least poses a reputational risk to your company,
Again, I think you're making assumptions. I don't know where you're getting your information, but, don't have any information about that.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Next up is Mike.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, loud and clear.
Just want to start with a big... going to briefly share my quick story and then a question. I'm fairly new to crypto. Just started back in April. Just of this year, started in Coinbase and heard about Celsius, came over to Celsius in July, started to listen to the AMAs, was really attracted to the yield, as you guys always talk about. Just been really impressed with the interface. Everything seems easy, and I've understood everything all along the way. Really embraced the HODL philosophy, not one to trade and try to make short-term profits, but try to take the long-term approach. Just recently, I took my first loan for a small amount just to see how it worked. It's been very smooth, again, very easy to understand. At that point, decided to go onto some of the exchanges to buy my first sell. Have had that experience. Currently at the silver level, just feels like the community has been supportive, and as I've been kind of learning my way through this. And again, just the whole message and philosophy of standing up to the banks and do well to do good really resonates. So just want to say thanks for that message. My question was broached a little bit before. I just want to kind of, check my understanding. The question was around the recent reduction in the yield on BTC. And I think I understood that, kind of the general principle there is that when price is going up, yield is going to, likely go down a little bit. Is that generally right, or can you say a little bit more about that, just as I'm trying to learn my way in this space?
Yeah, so first, sounds like you're doing all the right things, and we always recommend to incrementally do more and more with little steps and make sure that you understand everything. You should always test it in small steps and make sure that everything that you've been told is actually happening, and that they're doing it, they're there for you, and they're there to help you out, right? Again, when the prices of bitcoins are running up or running up fast, most people FOMO in, meaning they want to buy more Bitcoin, and to buy more Bitcoin, they normally need more stable coins, right? So when we lend stable coins, we mostly lend them to not to Celsius community members, but to other people on exchanges and DeFi and so on who use that to buy more Bitcoin or Ethereum or Cardano or whatever they want to buy, right? And they pay high interest rates for that. So again, there is much less demand for Bitcoin. Normally, when people borrow Bitcoin, they borrow it either to do market making or arbitrage, right? Or they want to short Bitcoin. So normally, when Bitcoin's running up, there's less demand for all those three services. Less demand, meaning whatever we're earning on Bitcoin has to be divided between all the Bitcoin holders, right? So if we have, again, 115,000 Bitcoin, whatever we're earning, including the mining, including everything else, has to be divided. We're earning less. We have to divide it between more and more and more Bitcoin being sent to us, meaning the yield is going down lower and lower, right? When the reverse happens, usually the reverse happens, meaning we don't have enough Bitcoin. We're trying to lend out even more, but we just don't have enough of it. And we raise the rates to earn. The price of Bitcoin, you'll see that the two opposite directions.
That's very helpful. Yeah, thanks. It's definitely an ongoing journey to try to keep learning and to try to understand how these pieces fit together. My only other comment, and then I'll drop off, is just the only pain point that I found is the difficulty of being able to acquire sell. Having to do it through the exchanges and the fees. I mean, I'm sure you guys hear it all the time, but that's my challenge right now is I'm not someone that has a whole lot. It's kind of a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there, but I feel like I'm on the journey towards the platinum level and would like to get there. And the gas fees make it a challenge. I know you guys are working towards it, but just wanted to say that. And thanks so much for everything. Really appreciate your transparency and willing to take all these questions.
So with Celsius X, we'll be also launching the ability to buy, sell on layer 2. So that will eliminate a lot of the gas fee issues that you're facing right now.
That's awesome. Thanks for coming up, Mike. Appreciate it. Next up is GL.
Oh, cool. Thanks for taking my call. I act like it's 1982. So my question is, with this investment in the additional 300 million into was buying mining equipment. and Celsius is sort of just minting coin. They want to try to acquire more cell somehow, or to get any cell, frankly. And obviously you're a smart guy, Alex. And I feel like if you're gung ho on cell, I don't need to fully understand it. I'm willing to be a follower, but I'm often curious if you ever share with the community, like what your strategy is. I know you're not supposed to give financial advice, but if there's all this transparency with who the cell token holders are, I often wonder, okay, well, that's nice to know you're the top cell token holder, but I'm also curious what Bitcoin you own in terms of gauging what ratio you think is a smart ratio to have in your portfolio and to sort of get this combination of yield in all these little piles. And I'm just curious to know more about all that.
Yeah, so we announced on June 4th, 2021, 200 million investment in mining. Half of that was in these companies you mentioned. Since then, we did not invest in any other companies, only in mining equipment. So 100. Right, half of that investment went to these companies, the other half went to equipment, and the 300 million we just did, additional 300, all of that is for equipment and facilities, none of it to these companies.
So will there be... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yep, as far as the cell token, it doesn't matter what I do, because it's not about, like my situation is not your situation. So you need to decide for you, right? What is basically if you're not sleeping at night, that means you have too many cell tokens or too much Bitcoin.